All right, we're back for another edition of In the Lead Off the Record. Today we're going to be discussing a topic on why e-commerce can be your best lead gen. This is Chase Shields. I'm Kyle Cheslock. Together we bring you our unsolicited thoughts sometimes that hopefully we bring some value to everybody that's watching this. I know we do this every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, so we'd love to hear from you. If you're logging in here, give us a like, give us a follow on our Facebook page, comment underneath there. We will be answering questions as we go along for those of you guys that are interested. We're also going to be uploading this to Instagram, Twitter, probably all our podcast outlets as well, on SoundCloud, iTunes.
So it'll be on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube.
On YouTube. There we go. So we're everywhere when it comes to social outlets. So feel free to share far and wide. We love talking to you guys, and like I said, hopefully we bring some value to you as we discuss this. So we've been talking about e-commerce kind of a lot the last 10, 15 days, more so than we normally do. And we felt like it was important because I think there's a misunderstanding on e-commerce, you know, with a lot of people that we talk to in terms of you can actually use it for lead gen.
Well, I think it is lead gen more than anything. I think the biggest misconception and why brick and mortar retail, like traditional retail, we can't call it brick and mortar anymore now that e-commerce players are getting into it.
More and more.
But the biggest misconception is that you don't need it, and that it's for people who it's for like a totally different type of buyer, and actually the fact that traditional businesses haven't adopted e-commerce is the entire reason that they're getting slaughtered, and they're going to continue to get slaughtered. That's just a fact. I mean, it's not that I have anything I want them to succeed, but it's like, if you are on the train tracks when the train's coming down the track and you don't step off of it, you get hit by the train, I don't feel bad for you.
You're not stopping the train.
Well, yeah, and it's like...
the train's Amazon, the train's Wayfair. The train is all these companies that are doing e-commerce.
And Amazon's not doing anything that's like terribly novel in terms of their core business strategy. No. They're just like responding to how customers want to buy.
Yeah.
So like that's what we're going to be talking about today. You know, it's really just about getting in the game. And I don't remember if we went over this on our last podcast, but we've done some research recently. Check our blog. Check it on. It's on Medium. It's on our blog. But really, basically what we found is that the LBM sector and furniture and home furnishings, which includes flooring, has basically seen a pretty significant decline in the number of...
I think that's an understatement. It's like dramatic.
It's very... So LBM obviously being the in better shape than furniture and flooring. Flooring just just getting their ass kicked.
Slaughtered.
Like, yeah, they're getting crushed. I mean, they're like...
It's unfortunate. Not a lot of people were talking about it, but since 2001...
Well, it's like no one wants to acknowledge it.
Steady...
So here's some facts. Like, and this is why e-commerce is important. So just bear with us. Like, we got to frame this argument because, like, literally no one is talking about what's actually going on in these traditional, like, specialty retail stores. So, flooring, worst off out of the three segments that we compile data for. 37% decrease in the number of businesses, 40% decrease in employment. The decrease in both...
It's continuing to decrease.
It's year over year. It's right. Like, so year over year, and that's since 2001. Year over year, like the number of businesses has decreased. There's consolidation. It's almost in lockstep with the number of locations.
Yeah.
So what that means is that it's the smaller businesses are being affected more and more.
And that's everything from locations to employment. And I think I was reading on the Financial Times the other day, you know, you need 0.9 employees for every million in online sales as opposed to 3.5 required for physical stores.
And
it's a whole
there's so and I'm getting to that, but in furniture, 34% decrease in number of businesses, 35% decrease in employment. Retail lumber, LBM, 27% decrease in number of businesses, but a 5% increase in employment.
So they figured it out.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's consolidation,
extent,
and
right.
and we've talked a lot about the differences between, like, internally, LBM, retail lumber dealers, and like especially furniture, especially home furnishing, especially flooring stores.
Yeah.
Barrier to entry much lower for those. Like, to get into retail lumber, like, you're talking about laying out some money, particularly if you're going to get into like custom millwork.
Yeah.
You're talking bigger facilities. You need more employees. You got to carry more inventory generally.
Margins
Margins are thinner for sure. Yeah, particularly when you compare it to something like flooring.
You just got like a 35 to 52% margin.
Yeah, it's so.
LBM's what, 10 to 12?
I mean, yeah, depending on, you get into custom millwork and your gross is high, but when you start factoring in, you're grinding knives and you're doing all this different stuff. So anyway, there's been a decline in the number of businesses, regardless of what everyone says. That includes the uptick that we've seen in the economy since 2009. So that's continued, and in that same period of time, almost, there's been an 80x increase in online commerce in the furniture and home furnishing sector. The non-store
80%, guys.
That's not 80%. That's 80x, dude.
80x.
That's
correct.
So that's
even
like,
more,
dude.
That is.
It's a massive.
That's only going up.
Right. So anyway, yeah, it's going up like
it's like a hockey stick,
in
right?
'99 there was like $350 million done in online sales by non-store.
Yeah. So like entities like Amazon.
Like Amazon. There was $28 billion done in 2015.
Didn't even take 2 decades.
Now they're doing in non-store online sales in furniture and home furnishings, so this is not overall, this is in this particular sector, is 40.5 times greater than traditional business online sales. Now, here's what's crazy. So traditional retailers in furniture and home furnishings did like $690 million.
Yeah.
That whole sector, traditional businesses, brick and mortar retailers, account for $106 billion in sales total retail. So the whole segment, traditional business, is $106 billion. Online sales by non-store retailers in that segment, $28 billion. You're talking about the market in just non-store sales is already a quarter of the size of the total traditional market. So like, to think that like people don't want to buy online is insanity. And to run from e-commerce is also insanity. Just if you do that and you get crushed, I don't feel bad for you. But
the point is not to run.
The point is run to e-commerce, which brings me to my next point. So let me like frame this. So I actually worked in traditional retail. I did only online sales. I got only online leads. So people had to come to a third-party site, perhaps one of our manufacturers' websites, our website, Auto Trader, and submit an inquiry or online or call in. So we're listing all of our inventory is out. All of our inventory is listed everywhere. All of our prices. That was our setup.
How many leads did that generate for you?
Just for the 4 high-end stores I worked for, we were getting like 400 new leads a month. Would
you get 400 walk-ins a month?
No, hell no. And two of us were handling those, so we would split them. George and I, George Hubbard, if you watch this, you're the man.
400 leads, guys. 400 leads.
And all we're doing is showing our inventory online, right? And it's in multiple places. So that's my background. And we, in the middle of the recession, George and I were accounting for anywhere between 30 to 40% of the monthly unit volume. Mm-hmm. Across our entire sales team for across like 15 people for 4 brands. Okay, so that's brick and mortar e-commerce. We were
so total revenue. You guys represented 40%.
Unit volume. Probably revenue, same thing. So we were 40%, 30 to 40% of the monthly production.
How much? Well, let me ask you this then: how much of that, or how many leads, whatever you want to frame or reference, ended up being, buying sight unseen versus what was driven into the store?
So I probably didn't meet like 70 to 80% of my customers. I mean, I was shipping cars all over the world, actually.
Yeah.
and not like, and we're talking about like, I sold everything from $7,000 used CRVs all the way up to $250,000 plus Ferraris. And I mean, I
shipped a lot of those CRVs.
Well, I mean, I sent a $90,000 Cayenne S out to Moab, Utah, sight unseen.
So that represented the majority of...
Yeah, I mean, my last sale, the last car I sold was an 09. Really cool story. Sold it to a guy in West Virginia who was making like fixtures for fracking operations, so like valves and stuff like that. The criteria was his son had to have a car seat for his 2-year-old son, and Recaro and Porsche have a special car seat for the 911s. So like I was measuring it in the showroom. I'll never forget, because the owner came out. He was like, cool. By the way, it was a really cool story. A guy saw a Porsche in the mountains in West Virginia on some random road when he was little, and he said, one day I'm gonna have one of those. So anyway, sidebar, it was $115,000. 911 turbo cab, sight unseen.
So even though that represented 70% of your volume, let's say you guys split it in half, 200 leads, that still leaves 50 to 60 that actually were driven into the store.
Yeah, I mean, and that, that was the 400 total. So I mean, out of those, we would sell probably, combined between the two of us, 10% of them. Yeah. So we'd be doing 30 to 40 cars a month, depending on the month. So there is seasonality in the car business too.
Sure.
Less of it when you're doing e-commerce though. Yeah. Because if you've got convertibles, you can sell.
You're reaching a whole lot of people that you're not normally going to reach.
Yeah. I sold a 911 Turbo or a 911 Carrera to someone in Miami, a yellow car. No one in Cincinnati is going to buy a yellow 911 convertible. So anyway, my point is like I was not selling insignificantly valued. These cars were worth a lot of money. They were getting sold
more than what your average ticket would be.
It's a
specialty dealer.
It's a big ticket purchase regardless. So my point is like we were doing this. We had this killer like online sales operation. And the reason that we wound up in that role was just because the traditional the salespeople that had been there weren't taking the online lead seriously. So anyway, the biggest reason that like e-commerce is an opportunity for lead gen, and think with Google.com, that's Google's marketing think tank, has a lot of data on this.
I want to make sure we touch on Google in their advertising too.
No, we will for sure.
Circling back around.
So the big thing is that so people come to your store because they want to see something that they're looking at buying, right?
Touch it, feel it, smell it.
So the arbitrage in e-commerce, going back to all of those stats, like no one in traditional furniture and home furnishings retail is doing e-commerce. That's the opportunity,
right? So, that's a leg up that Amazon does not have.
Because people would actually like to see the items. So if you push your inventory out online, you've got an e-commerce site, whether it's Square or Shopify or whatever it is, and then you get it into like Google's local inventory feed. Google's local inventory ads are statistically proven to increase on-site visits, like showroom visits, by 122%.
This is huge, guys.
Right.
This
so
is a monster opportunity.
If you're running Google AdWords right now, what I would say to you is spend $50 a month, get a Shopify store, get your inventory listed on that, shift your pay-per-click money to local inventory ads, drive more on-site traffic, like drive more people to your yard or to your showroom, and this is huge for business to business too. So if you're doing 100%. Builder business, like actually the business to business e-commerce segment is over twice the size of business to consumers. This is big either way.
Yeah.
But the point is like you can't in 2017 not have product visibility for your customer, right? Your customers have to know what's in stock. It's not enough to have some manufacturer's logo on your website.
No.
If they're going to get in their car and get off their couch, get off their asses and drive in to see you, they want to know that you've got what they're looking for. So for you to spend $50 a month on Shopify and then get your inventory online, it's like what winds up happening actually is more transactions don't wind up taking place online. And look, if someone buys from you online, what the hell do you care? No. You're selling,
particularly if you end up going the route of buy online, pick up in store.
Right. There's opportunity there.
Increased opportunity, which we'll touch on.
Yeah, there's a huge opportunity there. There's data for that too. But the big thing is by getting your inventory online and having like an e-commerce website, what it's actually going to do is it's going to drive more inquiries, whether they're phone, email, or the big thing is getting people into the store. And look, if you having your inventory online gets you an additional phone call or an additional email that you can then get someone into the store, and guys, remember, this is all I did. Yeah. Right, like I know this works. I ran this playbook. Like, and as far as I know, there's no one else in the industry who has this experience. Like, I ran this playbook and we killed it. George and I were monsters.
There's more tools now than what you had 2 years ago.
And like, hey, you know, bad news for any salespeople who don't like to get off your ass and work. You're going to need a CRM system. You're going to have to live in it. Like, welcome to the 21st century. Hate to break it to you, you got to work.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're not busy all 10 hours.
Yeah,
or 8 hours.
that's the whole thing.
I work retail too, man. You're not busy the full 8 hours.
I mean, you're not.
You're just not.
Like, in activity,
nobody has that kind of foot traffic.
Activity does not equal productivity. But getting back to like the point here is by getting your inventory online, what you're going to do is you're going to get more people into your showroom. When you get them into the showroom, you know you've got a much higher chance of closing them. Now, backside, the other thing too is there's a lot of data, and it's in one of our blog posts about the fact that consumers a lot of times will want to come into your store. They will want to look at the product, and then they'll want to complete a transaction online. So all you're doing here is just like you're making it easier for people to buy from you, which I have no idea like why anyone would be opposed to that. I'm not saying
you're also driving people in, and they're more inclined to buy additional items.
Well,
right? So for like a lumberyard,
that's the ticket with like So Lowe's is seeing this because Home Depot saw a 19% increase in their pro online sales. So builders and that. So if you're doing B2B and you're selling commercial accounts, like this applies to you too. But Lowe's actually, so of Home Depot's online sales, 45% pick it up in the store. Of Lowe's online sales, 60% pick up in the store. Now what's really interesting is that of the 60% of Lowe's online sales that people come in and pick something up in their store, almost half of them buy additional items in the store. So, like, by allowing people to buy online and pick up in your store, they come to your store, half of them are going to buy more stuff. Mm-hmm. So that was and you can fact check that. That was in Lowe's 10K, I think, for 2016, if I'm not mistaken. It's their SEC statement. So anyway, the big thing there is that like you've got a lot. So there's so much great stuff with like minimal effort in e-commerce,
and you can incrementally grow your revenue and increase your profits just by doing it.
And like I was just talking to one of our great customers, they've got a multi-store operation, and he was like, so you're telling me that basically I can do this, and it's literally going to require not much more effort than what I'm already doing. And yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like, if you've got inventory, your money's tied up. If you like by having e-commerce, you're getting access to customers that you don't even know exist.
And here's the thing: a lot of these guys that we talk to have $100,000, $200,000 monthly marketing budgets, and they don't know what the ROI or where it's going. For a lot of the big outfits, I mean they're literally spending all this money on marketing, and they have an agency doing it, and they don't know what the hell ROI is. Even though it's like, and we're giving it to them, but they might not be linked in, and checking everything the way that it should be. Now, that being said, the pay-per-click budget should absolutely be in local inventory ads. There's zero question about that. Yep. But the biggest thing I'm trying to drive home is that, look, it costs you not much to run an e-commerce site. No. It costs you not much to push your inventory out from a Shopify to an Amazon feed to a Google feed. I think over half of shoppers now are searching for products on Amazon first. So another great way to find, get people from Amazon into your store. Like, we consume information at an incredible rate, and that's what this is all about.
Well,
shoppers have changed.
Well, it's that they want to know that if they're going to drive, no one wants to just drive your store, or your yard. No one wants
Time is money.
No one wants to do that. So if you don't let them know, again, trading attention. That's all this is. It's now. People don't come to your store to find out what you have. They go online. If you don't have your stock online, people aren't going to come to your store. Like, and that's just going to get more and more and more common. It's already like seriously common right now, but since no one in the industry is doing it, they don't know what the hell they're missing. That's the message here. And if they don't start doing it, I mean, e-commerce is just, well, they're not, I mean, they're going to be blindsided only because if you get blindsided by this, it's only because you've had your head up your ass.
Yeah, you got your blinders on.
It's that simple. I mean, there's nothing else to it. So, it's like, this is like so here's the big message is that people want to buy something that they can touch and feel.
Yeah.
They're going online because it's easier to transact online. So if you're not online, like, and you don't have an e-commerce site to at least like show what you've got, all you're doing is driving, you're giving Wayfair and Amazon and Home Depot and Lowe's customers. Yeah. Which, like, if you're cool with that, that's great. I don't know if that's your business plan. I mean, hey, far be it from me to tell you how to run your business. But if it's not your business plan, you should probably get an e-commerce site.
It's not enough just to operate off your reputation or the fact that you've been here for 35 years or you got a great referral base. That's not enough anymore.
Yeah, no one cares.
We live in a globalized world now. Like, it just, you know, it's been happening for the last 20 years and it's going to become more relevant and prevalent as time continues to move on.
Loyalty,
and this is where the eyeballs are now.
Loyalty is about like value and the experience, and by letting people buy from you, like if people are trying to give you money and they want to buy online and you don't make that an option, you're making it really hard for them to give you money. That's like a very bad thing. You don't want to be doing that. And yeah, I mean, it is where everyone is now. Like, everyone is online. This is how it's going. And like brand loyalty, like, no one cares that you've been around for 40 years. Like, people don't care about you. They care about them. And that's the shift that like, everyone seems to be failing to realize. We had a great, like, one of our customers, actually, who usually tunes into these, Lee Weaver, asked a great question on our Facebook post about one of the videos about quality, service, and price. And in the response, we were talking about how the service component has actually become value.
Yeah.
Because service isn't just how can I help you. It's like, what else are you bringing to the table that the customer's not thinking about? What is the experience? How easy are you making it for the customer to buy from you? Because if they can, let me put it to you this way. An experience that goes the following way. I went on Google, I Googled LVT, I found out that Kyle's Flooring had Cortec, the style that I wanted. He had it listed online. So I got in my car, I drove to the store, I said, hey, I saw that you had this online. Kyle goes in the back, he pulls out a sample, says, yeah, is this what you were looking for? Great, awesome. Okay, you know, do whatever, like, maybe it ends there. Maybe Kyle comes out and does a measure or whatever, and then I decide, oh, you know, great, like, I'll just go on his website. He told me how much I needed, so I buy it on the website. I go to pick it up in the store. I schedule an installation right when I buy online.
Yep.
Like, you know, that's a hell of a lot different than showing up at a store, wondering if someone has something, going in, I see Kyle, oh yeah, we're out of stock. Well, that sucks, because you know what I'm going to do then? I'm going to go online, I'm going to find out who has it in stock. And it's probably going to be, you know, one of the
consumers will drive up to 30 miles to get what they need.
Yeah, and they don't, you know, and that's the other thing too, is like, you know, you've got a friend back home who bought from Lowe's because they could see what was there, and you've got a specialty store in your town. I have a friend who I picked up her flooring at a store that shall not be named, but a very large publicly traded company that everyone thinks is the enemy. And she bought there because she went to home centers and one more place. Bought from the place that had what she wanted and had the most organized showroom and easiest sales process. Like, bam, bought it online, picked it up. They had a fully computerized little like inventory thing. They dropped it in the back of my truck on a pallet, wrapped really nicely, boom, done. Yeah. You know, I mean, so like there's like such a massive opportunity, and literally the hilarious thing about this is 99.9% of retailers, in fact, I would argue 99.9999999% of retailers aren't bothering with e-commerce.
No.
And like that's one of the reasons that these non-store e-tailers have taken off. And if you even bother with it, you're gonna murder it. Like, it's gonna be awesome. It's such a huge growth opportunity.
Yeah. Not only is it a huge growth opportunity in the future, But right now,
it's huge.
We are heading into one of the busiest spending times of the year with holidays that are coming up. People tend to redo their homes before the in-laws get there.
Going to be interesting to see how that goes with the recession potentially.
Yeah. So, typically this back half of the year is when that stuff is done. So, right now is the opportunity.
And hey, Kyle brings up a good point because we're 9 years into a growth cycle. We're much closer to a contraction. The longest growth cycle we've ever had, one time, 10 years.
It doesn't
120
just
months.
The economy just doesn't keep going up.
It doesn't. And I was in e-commerce from the peak in I got in 07, I got out in 10. I sold through the recession is when they moved me from inventory and purchasing into sales. Middle of the recession, 09, selling Maseratis, Porsches, and Audis. We were a huge part of keeping that organization cash flowing. At least that division of it. I won't say because the auto group is really well run.
Well, everybody remembers what it was like.
But dude, if we weren't doing that, if you were selling
you had to do cash for clunkers just to drive people in.
Right. If you were spending the same amount of money and you're doing 5 cars a month online versus doing 30 or 40 like we were, that's a substantial cash impact item. So this is the type of thing that not only can help you crush it right now, but when things turn, which they're going to real soon, it will help you really stay afloat, capture more market share. Business competition, you'll hit your competitors where they're weak, particularly if you are selling items that are more commoditized, that are prefab goods, where it's the same at 3 places within a 5-mile radius. That's all part of experience. It's all part of value. It's a great way to, again, get the attention and have your if your products are out there, you're going to drive more store traffic. You're going to drive more sales. You're going to have happier customers. It's great. It's such an easy play. And I mean, that's really it. It's a really easy play.
We talk about it a lot, and I think, wrapping it all together here, you just got to do. You can talk about it, think about it, strategize, and use some strategery, my old friend George W.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, you just got to do. It doesn't have to be perfect right at the outset.
No, and it won't be. But, I mean, if you're, and that's
the
crazy
thing. Tweak it as you go along.
Is in retail, LBM, and furniture and home furnishings, you don't have to do, and maybe this is one of the reasons that the industries have gotten clobbered like they have. You don't have to do a lot to be better than the next guy.
No, you just got to do.
Today, with this growth, but when things turn, this is what's going to matter. But the whole thing is that's a huge plus too, because you don't have to do a lot to be better. So if you do this, you're taking. You're capturing market share in your local market, potentially even from players like Wayfair and Amazon, definitely Home Depot and Lowe's who are doing all this. It's a great way to get your business out there, get your brand out there. It paints you as being a savvy business owner. Again, brand image, and it really, it's a huge value prop. I mean, I can tell you, I won't drive to any store for any purchase unless I know that they have what I want in stock. I'm 31 years old. I'm smack dab in the middle of the millennials, business owner. So I'm probably the target for a lot of you guys outside of work. And, even inside of work, in office furniture, I'd probably order that shit online.
Online, yeah.
And talk to someone, or at least I want to work with someone locally who I know what they carry, because they have it online, and a lot of it is instant gratification too. Yeah. So e-commerce is huge. Please hit us up online on any of the social channels if you want to talk about it, if we can help. There's some great resources for that. Again, it's all I did, so I know it works. I know how to get people into the showroom from an email. It's really just a matter of executing. It's a massive
persistent.
Yeah.
You're just firing out one email or one contact.
That won't work. That won't work at all. But it's worth it, and it's a massive opportunity for everyone. So I hope you take advantage of it.
On that note, we'll wrap this up. Thanks, guys, for attending our webinar today, our Facebook Live, if you will. Check us out next Wednesday. We'll have another topic for you. We're going to start sending out some updates for you ahead of time, so you can start scheduling it out, on an as-needed basis. But otherwise, like Chase said, check us out on all our social channels. You get all this content information for you. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next week.
And thank you, everyone. We'll be talking about this a lot more, I'm sure, so tune in.